think for many of us, photography is a time to go out and relax and just enjoy the environment and make the most of taking photos and just enjoying that feeling. At least for me, I know it's a time where I can release everything, take stress away, and just let everything out and use the photos to make me feel a little bit better. And that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm just gonna see how high I can possibly get and try and go up the mountain and try and get to a nice vantage point where I can see the landscape around here and just see what kind of photos I can get. And I think days like this are really great when you can just go out and soak it in, and I think that's really important for us to do sometimes, just to relieve our stress and try and get things away. But one little tip is, before you go out, if you're bringing some water with you, boil the kettle and put hot water in your water bottle. That way, when it's really cold, like a day like this, the water won't freeze over, at least not straight away. That kind of depends on how long you're going to stay out, but at least for a couple hours this is going to be completely fine, and it won't get too cold to drink either. But anyway, let me keep heading up and we'll see what we end up finding. I just wanted to make a quick stop at this little stream of water coming down the mountain here. I just find it really interesting because there's a lot of ice going over the rocks and the water's just running through it, which is creating a really nice effect. And the fact that there's snow on the edges just makes the center and the stream a little bit more emphasized, and it's just making you aim a little bit more into that, and I think that's what's going to work really well here. I'm going to shoot this at around f3.5. I don't want to get too much detail, but I'm going to kind of focus towards the back area of this, and then the foreground will slightly be blurred out and it'll just draw you into that center of the frame there. But I think this could really make a nice image, so I just thought I'd quickly stop here and show you guys this one. And yeah, let's just take a look, and I'm gonna keep heading up. Okay, so I've made it up pretty high right now. I am really worn out. And as I started coming up here, there's snow that's starting to come in. So visibility up here might be somewhat difficult. So I can even see it coming over the valleys in the background there. Whew. So I just need to see if I can find a good spot here where I can get a really nice composition. Get a nice composition of this landscape in the background here. It is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. But with the snow coming in, that's probably going to vanish. And yeah, I don't think I have that much light left. Sun normally goes down around 3. It's coming to 1 o'clock already, so I think it's going to be getting dark pretty much soon. So I'm glad I brought a flashlight with me, but it looks like I might be having to walk home in the dark. So I'm just going to use my 7200 for this first image that I want to take off, and it's basically the mountains far out in the background. I'm going to zoom to 200mm for this. I'm just going to shoot through these tall pine trees that are a little bit down there in the foreground and use that as a framing element. And it's not that bright right now, so my exposure is making the trees really dark. I'm wanting to get quite a lot of detail out of this. I'm shooting at f7. I have my shutter speed at 1/125th of a second, and I've had to put my ISO up to 500. But it's a really nice view. It's just I know I'm going to have to bring up those shadows quite a lot, unless it works that I keep those shadows dark and actually use it as a way of drawing you into that center of the frame. So there's quite a good difference in contrast here. Sky is quite bright in that background where those mountains are as well. Yeah, I think this will make a really nice composition. So I'm just not entirely sure yet if I want to shoot vertically or in landscape, but I think either way it will work quite nicely. I can see on that side that the valley is starting to disappear because of the snow clouds that are coming in. So I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to get much else. So I'm just gonna have to work hard for this one. And yeah, it's getting pretty dark. I wasn't expecting it to get this dark so soon, but that's how it is sometimes. Anyway, let me just get this shot and see what I do next. So at the moment the snow is just coming through on the mountain in the background here, which I think will soon be covering me, which I'm not sure. I might not be seeing much, but we'll see. But anyway, there's these 3 trees just lined up in front of me here, and they're very different from each other. They're quite similar in some ways, but one of them has just got no leaves at all. One of them looks like it's slightly dying, and the other one has got a little bit more to it. There's actually another tree just in front of that one, which is kind of skeleton-y looking. But the way it is right now with that background, with the cloud and the snow coming in, it's creating this really nice feel and eerie kind of touch to it. And I think it's just going to add a really nice effect. It just seems like a nice composition to take. And I'm actually going to shoot this at f2.8. I don't really care about getting all the detail in the foreground and the background. I'm just going to focus on those trees and get the element as it is, and just capture what I'm seeing and feeling right now. And I just think it's pretty interesting and it looks nice. Anyway, let's take a look. So I decided to come a little bit higher, and now the snow is really starting to come in. There's some cool big flakes starting to show up. What I might do is wait a little bit longer so I get a little bit more of an impact with that snow, but I think it's coming in quite fast. And I'm glad I did come up a bit higher, because there's this really beautiful tree just down here with these nice curves. The actual tree itself is completely straight, but the branches curve off in a really nice way, and it just goes so well with the landscape because it stands out in its own. It's in the foreground, and the background is really far in the distance, which just adding this really nice look. But at the moment, from where I'm standing, I'm getting the top of the tree in on the top of the line of the next hill on the other side, which I think works really well composition wise. But I think I might try it in 2 different ways. I'll shoot it from where I am, and then I'm going to go a little bit lower, so I basically get the tree standing on its own with the background drawing into the background. Yeah, with the background not being so much in the way. And yeah, but as the snow comes in, I think it's just going to add a little bit more to this image. I think I'm going to shoot again at f2.8 because at least I feel that's what I want to do. I'm going to test it, but I might change it and end up shooting at around 5.6. But I think because I am focusing just on this tree, I don't need to worry so much about the background being detailed, especially with all the snow coming in. It's really starting to look good right now. I think I'm just going to have to take the photo. I got my shutter speed at 1/400th of a second at f2.8 and my ISO is at 320. So let me just get into taking some photos of this, and let's see how this actually turns out. But I think this is going to be a really nice one. the snow has really started coming in. So I think what I'm going to do now is change to my 35mm, and I'm just going to enjoy this, go around, take some photos, make the most of this right now, because it's just so freeing. And when I'm out here like this, I feel so good. It's very relaxing, and yeah, it just it feels really good to be out here right now. I've come up at a really nice spot. I got a great view. The snow's coming in, and things are just looking really interesting. So what I'll do is I'll show you guys the shots that I take after this now, and so you at least can see what I end up with. But I think this is going to be it for today. I'm just going to enjoy now, and yeah, hope you've all enjoyed watching this, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the images. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.